What I claimed is the Qur'an gives permission for people to consummate marriage, have sex, with females too young to have started their periods. Now, I deliberately avoided words such as puberty or maturity because different cultures define these words in different ways.
Now, you talk about not using the word puberty or maturity because cultures define it in different ways. But we're talking about the Qur'an, and Islam gives very clear guidelines on how one reaches maturity.
Apart from continuously misrepresenting my argument in all of your video responses, I know also that you didn't address a single point by any of the scholars or tafsirs I cited in my video.
Okay, so we have those tafsirs in front of us. Now, the reason why I didn't comment on them is because it's not referring to marriage. It's referring to divorce. It's a completely different topic. The minimum age of getting married, or when a young woman can get married, it's not talking about that. It's talking about divorce. Now, what you've done is you've isolated this particular verse, and that's a typical tactic used by people who criticize the Qur'an. So you need to realize that Islam gives guidelines on marriage, on every aspect of marriage. So you have to take the whole of the revelation into the discussion. You can't isolate a verse. So 2 points. The first one is, what is the purpose of marriage in Islam? It says, and of his signs is that he created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. This lam here is called lam al-ta'lil. It means for the purpose of. So this is actually the purpose that he created mates for us. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. That's the purpose, which means to find tranquility in them. So there's this tranquility that we find when we marry this person and live with this person. And it says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةَ وَرَحْمَةَ. That we placed between you affection, which is, it's not a good translation. That's, mawadda is a very strong love. It's actually the strongest love. And warahmah, and mercy. Secondly is, what is marriage in Islam? It's a contract. And with a contract, there are rights that one has, as well as obligations. So one needs to fulfill these obligations. And if one is not fulfilling these obligations, then they are in no position to get married. The minimum age of marriage, or when a girl should be married, goes much, much deeper than this particular verse. So we could quote these verses, or we could quote what the Mufassirin say about this, but it means nothing, because it's assuming that reaching puberty is the only factor, or the only prerequisite that one needs to get married. And this is not true. So the point I want to emphasize is that you need to take into consideration the whole of the revelation. It's not just one verse. And the scholars you quoted are not talking about marriage. That's the whole point. I hope that becomes clear to you. And this is actually a clear example of how somebody, without the prerequisites that one needs, can misinterpret the Qur'an.